In December 1996, the company that owned Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Avengers filed for bankruptcy. Stock down 90%. Lawyers in the lobby. And the decision that eventually saved them is the craziest bet in Hollywood history. They pawned their own superheroes. Let me back up, because the way Marvel got rich is the same way it nearly died. In the early 90s, comic books stopped being something kids read and became something speculators hoarded. Collectors were buying 10 copies of every collectible issue, sealed in plastic, certain they were holding their kids' college fund. Marvel printed money. Literally, they just printed more comics. Foil covers. Variant editions. Issue number 1, again and again. The company got bought by a corporate raider named Ron Perlman, who loaded it with debt and rode the bubble like it would never pop. It popped. By the mid-90s, the speculators were gone. Sales had collapsed by 2/3, and Marvel was a debt bomb with a cartoon catalog. Perlman and another billionaire, Carl Icahn, spent 1996 fighting each other for the wreckage, like two guys arguing over the wheel of a sinking ship. And that's when Marvel almost ceased to exist. The rescue came from the least glamorous corner imaginable. Hold that thought. The guys who end up saving Marvel made their money selling toys, not comics. This episode brought to you by Fifth Pour, where every bourbon bottle gets its story. Scan a bottle, read what other enthusiasts felt about it, and add your own. Every bottle has a story. Find them all at fifthpour.com. All right, welcome back. The picture so far. The comic bubble popped. Two billionaires fought over the wreckage, and Marvel hit Chapter 11 with its stock down 90%. Now comes the rescue and the fire sale. Toy Guys. Toy Biz, the company that made Marvel's action figures, was run by Ike Perlmutter and Avi Arad. And to protect their license, they fought their way through bankruptcy court and ended up merging with Marvel itself. The new regime kept the lights on the old-fashioned way, selling things. And what they sold, piece by piece, were movie rights. X-Men went to Fox. Spider-Man went to Sony, the crown jewel of American comics, licensed away for less than $10 million up front. Then, they had to sit and watch. Spider-Man hit theaters in 2002 and grossed over $800 million worldwide, and Marvel's slice was scraps. Their characters were the most valuable thing in Hollywood, and Hollywood was the one cashing the checks. So in 2005, they made the bet. Marvel went to Merrill Lynch and structured a $525 million credit line to make movies themselves. No studio safety net. The collateral wasn't a building. The collateral was the characters. Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, the Avengers. If the films flopped, the bank could take every hero they had left. Stick around. If the first movie flops, Thor, Captain America, and the Avengers belong to a bank. Quick pause. We make this show because we care about the things people used to do right. So it makes sense our sponsors do too. Captain's Krill Oil is run by somebody who refused to switch to the factory method. The whole industry uses chemical solvents now because it's faster. Captain still extracts krill oil mechanically right on the boat, the way nature intended it. CaptainsKrillOil.com. Back in a sec. Okay, back to the story. Where we were, Marvel borrowed $525 million from Merrill Lynch and put up their last 10 heroes as collateral. Then they greenlit a movie about the one nobody wanted. And then, this is the part I love, they doubled down on the risk. For the first movie, they didn't pick a famous hero, because the famous ones were already gone. They picked Iron Man, a B-lister civilians had barely heard of, an alcoholic arms dealer in a metal suit. And to play him, they hired Robert Downey Jr., an actor the insurance companies didn't want bonded. The director, Jon Favreau, had to fight for him. The whole future of Marvel walked onto that set with the two riskiest names available. May 2008. Iron Man opens, earns $585 million worldwide, and the after-credits scene, Nick Fury, "You've become part of a bigger universe," quietly announces the most ambitious plan in movie history. 4 films later, Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion. The characters that had been sitting in a bank's collateral file became the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 30-plus films, the biggest franchise ever built, worth more at the box office than every comic Marvel printed in 80 years. The company that couldn't pay its printers in 1996 ended up owning the modern blockbuster. Because when they were finally down to their last handful of heroes, they bet the heroes. That was the bet, and it paid off bigger than any bet in entertainment history.